Welcome to Yellowbrick Road. I am Jordan, and today we're going to react to some Candace Owens since her return from, I guess she's kind of hiding herself because of, I guess some French guys want to kill her. Macron's want her dead. Israel wants her dead. Everyone wants her dead. We're going to go over her new live stream, amongst other things. But first, don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now, so please join up if you feel like. All opinions are welcome. And obviously, everything I show you in this video will be linked in that same description box. All right. So, is this where I want to start? I did. Now, this is interesting to me because I put these out of order, actually. Let me put this here. You can see the tweet from Candace on the 25th. She says, "Our show will be off air this week. As an update, both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies have confirmed receipts, I assume she means, of what I reported publicly, which is Emmanuel Macron attempted to organize my assassination per a source close to the first couple, Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron. Also, I will again state that the French legionnaires or legionaries, whatever, were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, but they did not act alone. For all of you who doubted my claims, you can now look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement to confirm whether I am telling the truth." So she's saying she sent this to them. That's what it looks like. She sent it to the U.S. counterterrorism three-letter agencies and the White House itself, right? Trump directly. And said, with receipts, and these guys confirmed that these are legit. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it reads like. But then again, you see this. Now, this is just someone tweeting about this. We're not going to watch this yet. We're going to watch the actual main video. But you can see here, Candace Owens reveals the FBI has not responded to her message about the French assassination threat against her. She then says the White House has allegedly put the information directly on President Trump's desk, and she has not heard back. This is insane. But if she hasn't heard back from any of these things, then how could they confirm what she claimed to have? She hasn't heard back from them. I guess we'll find out in context by watching more of the longer form video. But even before this, or before we get to the main video, let's play some other things. I think this is I put these just out of order. I fucked up. Either way, let's play this because it's kind of funny. Here we go.
I won't say fuck Tucker because I was in his cabin and everything, but
Pause.
buddy, he is up to something. This guy is up to something, you know, and I don't like that he was so two-faced. He's a two-faced. I don't like two-faces. I know I'm from Chicago. We're not two-faced here in Chicago. Maybe you're two-faced up in New England, in Fox News, you know, in that world where you come from. We're not two-faced out here.
To the hostile takeover of the Republican Party.
Absolutely.
Which is obviously funny when you see that the lady that he's probably complaining about now, right, is now having a press room access of the fucking Pentagon. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Chicago. Love it. And it would feed the idea that Nick kind of just goes with whoever likes him, whether it's an act or not. That looks fucking stupid, right? He seems to run with, just like Jimmy Dore, seems to run with whoever compliments them. But if you say the wrong thing about them, about Nick or Jimmy Dore, then they go after you. It's like a crisis of character in that situation, almost like narcissistic or, you know, petty or, you know, selfish. Either way, let's continue. So this I wanted to play because it does, once again, this is from a random guy. I think we've seen him on Valhalla VFT on that channel. And, oh, no, sorry. The Valhalla VFT guy was reacting to this video from Mr. Let Go. Okay. This is from Mr. Let Go, I guess. And a guy, not Valhalla VFT, but his friend, I think, or a guy he live streams with, reacted to this video, and it showcases, the 60-minute style guy in silhouette and voice distortion saying everything is real. If Candace goes live, she's dead. Here we go.
Know that you will be next if you don't shut up. Like, really, it was
I'll play a
supposed
little bit
to be
more.
you.
It'll
And you
play
have
some
to
of
consider there's nowhere
pastor
safe
guy.
for them in the world.
Pastor McCoy.
There's nowhere safe for them in the world. There's nowhere safe for them in
It's
the
literally
world.
so stupid.
As we all know, Candace Owens is spinning a lot of suggestions that there's all sorts of conspiracies out there about who killed Charlie, or they're in some sort of murder conspiracy unless you have really strong evidence. We can't keep spinning conspiracy theories without evidence. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt. You never know what can happen to you. You never know what can happen to you.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So for anyone that wants to make the argument that a lot of this is about entertainment, here's your fucking case. Here it is on a platter. Like, they're talking about killing someone. And it's sad that I'm not a Candace fan. I think she does some disgusting things. Some interesting things in other cases. Maybe she had an epiphany. Maybe she had a turn of character, but I don't see proof of that yet. But nonetheless, if she claims someone is threatening her, or someone actually goes out and threatens her, I will take it very seriously. More serious than people that claim to love Candace. And that's the sad thing of all. But either way, here's more, I guess, a little bit of a Kevin Hart thing leading into the silhouetted French legionnaire or legionaries. Here we go.
Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
You never know what can happen to you.
Oh, shit, that's so funny.
Statements about Charlie, all lies. And all while they're still getting death threats. And all while they're still getting death threats.
Enough.
But they have a plan.
A few moments later.
Rank Colonel DGSC Action Division. For 21 years I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk. Operation Poignard. Target Candace Owens.
Why is there an emoji on the
Client,
screen?
Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee. Payment routed through a shell in Cyprus we have used since the Rainbow Warrior days. The directive is explicit. Quote, eliminate the subject during live broadcast. Maximum visceral impact. The blade must be visible. The audience must feel the cut.
Oops, my bad. There's a problem with that because typically, or not typically, there's plenty of moments where it doesn't feel like Candace is actually alive. It all seems very pre-recorded. Right? It's certain things like, hey, this happened. You'd be able to bring this up live. You should be able to, and she doesn't bring it up. And in a couple of broadcasts I've seen. And obviously like the editing, but you could do that with OBS, some kind of soft fade with a bright light, fade in, fade out to go from, her talking to an advertisement read, right? But it's like, why would you record that every day in these different outfits? Why would you do that? Why not just have a pre-recorded, here's an ad, kind of like Tucker does, right? Or it's just him reading an ad, from a different day. Why can't you just do that? But she actually dresses up in a different outfit every time she reads an ad, apparently. But those fades that you see in between, the transition you see there, is not someone live. When she reads the ads, I am guaranteeing she's not live during that segment. Maybe her regular stuff is live, and then the ads are just pre-recorded. But once again, I think you see my logical conundrum for why I need to believe that she's live all the time when it all feels kind of pre-recorded. And also, why do you need her to be live? I thought the point is to make her unalive. Pun intended. Okay. I guess the idea is like maximum impact. I guess. But it's I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird thing to say. Weird statement and a weird reason. Very weird reason. But all right, here we go. And I don't think she's live that often. Here we go.
They want her open from sternum to pelvis while the red light is on. They want the chat scrolling no, no, no as they hit the desk. That trauma is the secondary payload. Primary payload is you, the viewers.
That guy
Break
fell
the
for it.
Americans who still speak against. Make the rest too afraid to open their mouths. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex-Legion Blade specialists from Corsica, 1 woman involved in the job on that Saudi journalist in Istanbul, and a spotter who was in the crowd in Utah. They have our studio floor plan, they have the shift change of our security.
Now, whoever this is apparently, I guess, publicly verifying everything that Candace has put out, but Candace herself is not verifying this video. As to say, like, she has anything to do with it. But if one doesn't acknowledge the other, some random fan or someone looking into it might see this and be, oh my God, Candace was right. See, look, we got the evidence right here. This guy admits it. And thus make their way to Candace's channel to watch her statements about this, which should, that should wreck them, right? Like, logically. It might not, but it should wreck them. Like, this guy said, if she goes live, we're going to fuck her up. I'm pretty sure she went live today. I'm pretty sure the video didn't get taken down from, massive violence or whatever the fuck. But anyways, here we go. Just showing people things I've seen. Not saying this is legit. Just saying it exists, right? For the sake of being upfront and honest about things. But here we go.
Own circle accepted crypto for information 2 weeks ago. When she cancelled this week's shows, the orders updated immediately. Mobile killbox. Wherever she surfaces next, whether it's an emergency stream, even a goddamn parking lot live stream, they are planning to be there. I sent her the precaution through a cutout she trusts. Burner rules, no GPS devices, no routines. But she is stubborn. She thinks exposure protects her. It does not. It is the bait. If she goes live again without changing her voice print, without hard encryption, without ditching every person who has been within 10 meters of her in the last month, she is as good as... They will let her speak for 5 minutes, long enough for the bot to boost the clip, then the feed will show exactly what they want the world to see. I am recording this because when they find me, I want there to be a record. This is not rogue. This is policy, signed at the highest level. Tell her, do not trust any American agency that offers protective custody.
Apparently they
More
haven't
than
yet.
half of them are penetrated. Tell her the only safe move is to disappear completely for 90 days. After that, maybe the war they are planning will make her irrelevant.
Hey, how about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this?
Whoa. I don't know what fucking sex app shit this is. Listen, Mr. Litgo. What if he's like a man, what's it called? Manosphere channel, I wonder. Anyways, let's move on to Candace. So clearly, that didn't happen. I see an hour and 2 here. Whatever the fuck that was apparently not legit, in my opinion, at least. But I did see it, so that's what I'm showing you guys because I saw it, And I guess we move on to Candace. Also, like, once again, this guy just confirming everything, like, in a way, confirming everything that Candace has been saying. Like, oh my God, the French and Israel, they're involved with Charlie Kirk, and they're trying to kill me too, because I keep talking about it. Macron's wife's dick. They got me in trouble. They want to kill me now. It's supposed to be me. Me and Tucker. We're supposed to be the ones taken down. Me. But either way, let's let's hear from the horse's mouth in a way. And also, let's find out if she actually did, according to her own words, send this stuff in, and then get like actual feedback of like, yeah, this is legit. Let's find out. Here we go with Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, and Brigitte's Legionnaires, which is just like, once again, sewing things that Candace kind of built next to each other. Let's find out. Here we go.
All right, you guys, it is a very tangled web that we weave. I'm referring to me and Jean-Michel Trogneau, okay? Jean-Michel Trogneau has been so protected and has worn so many faces and has clearly gotten away with that across so many decades that you can almost understand the sheer arrogance.
This is the same
Imagine
old
being
Candace,
so protected that you force multiple nation states
scared at all.
to collude to hide the obvious fact that you were born with a penis, right? That is real power. I am talking satanic power, though. And the antidote to Satan is always Christ. Truth will reign supreme in the end. So welcome back to Candace.
You're not that
It's because it is going to be a long week. I have so many explosive revelations to share with you, and now it feels especially urgent, right? Don't you feel a sense of urgency
Popcorn
right
ready,
now?
Candace. Let it happen.
In the wake of me having learned that France apparently paid for my assassination and that the French Foreign Legion was apparently involved and on the ground at UVU on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination. And we should probably begin there. Foremost, if you were one of the people online who believed for a single second that it was even a remote possibility that I simply made up a French assassination attempt heading into Thanksgiving week, I don't know, for like attention or something, I sat around and I said, I'm just not getting enough attention. How can I start a global conversation about me? And then
Someone want to tell Candace. Someone want to tell her. Why would I do that? Make it all about me? Possibly, lady. No offense. Once again, you said the president called you personally to say, "Hey, listen, Candy baby, listen. You're fucking up the negotiations with Russia and Ukraine because you keep bringing up Brigitte Macron's dick. I don't think she has a cock. I think she's all woman, okay? But you keep doing this, like it's hurting negotiations. Can you calm down about it, please? Please, Candy." Like the president called you because your show harms international geopolitical negotiations between two different countries, not the U.S. and these like Ukraine, Russia. You're hurting those negotiations through France. This is what you've told us already. Nobody made a big enough deal about that, but that's what you've said before. But do you see why people might be like, man, she's just doing this for attention? I'm not saying that's the case. I'm waiting to hear you out as a person, right? Because apparently, according to your own story, you do have your whole show, your YouTube show is now like intricately involved in U.S. foreign policy and domestic policy as well, and cover-ups and fucking espionage and fucking assassinations. So yeah, people have some questions, you know? Either way, let's let Candace say it. I'm sure her fans are like, oh my God, play Candace. Here we go.
Attention. How can I start a global conversation about me? And then I came up with this idea of creating fan fiction where I imagined myself as the victim of a multinational state plot to murder me.
Obviously
if
means
you
she
thought
has
that
actual evidence
for a single second,
right?
That it was for funsies because I'm not busy or anything, then you're just not sober. You're not paying attention to anything, and you need to wake up real fast. We're going to move quickly through a lot of things this week because everyone in the world needs to wake up to how things actually work.
Okay, Candace, that means like what you're saying right there is saying right now, I'm going to show you everything that I'm supposed to show you to let you know that I am not full of shit. This is legit. Here's my evidence. You don't wait for episode 2 of the week, episode 3 of the week. You don't do build up. You don't do storyline build up. You don't write it like a fucking TV show. This is when you just upfront show it and say it, right? There's no time for delay with this, right?
I think it's time for an ad.
What?
I think it's time for an ad.
Time for that, you said?
For an ad, A-D.
Oh, for an ad. Okay. You just mush those words together, though. Like, for an ad? Is that a product? What is that? Who's for an ad? Is that a name? Who's that? But, yeah. I get your joke, but, like, it should be, like, this should be upfront shit. There should be no way around it. We should be guaranteed getting something where it's like, okay, this is legit. It shouldn't be innuendo. It shouldn't be waiting for episode 2 of the week. It should be, like, right now, because you're talking about foreign governments. In fact, the president of a foreign nation, an ally of the U.S., using their free time to pay assassins to come take you out, and we're involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination as well. Like, there's no way you can't, like, you have to just say it at this point. If you're gonna do a show about it, this is when you say it. This is not time for delay, right, Candace? This is not tune in next week to Candace Owens Live. It can't be that. Right, Candy? There we go.
LOL to the idea of Western democracy. LOL to the idea that you can win in life and everything's basically you've set the stage for a meritocracy and you can get ahead. No, actually, as you learn things, you become a target. You become a target to people that operate in the shadows. And that is, I think, what we are all learning in the wake of the last couple of months, especially. Now, going back to November 25th, I obviously tweeted exactly what I was informed. Okay, I'm going to read that tweet to you in its entirety. Urgent. 2 days ago, I was contacted by a high-ranking employee of the French government. After determining this person's position and proximity to the French couple, I have deemed the information that they gave me to be credible enough to share publicly in the event that something happens. In short, this person claims the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination. Yes, you read that correctly. More specifically, that the green light was given to a small team in the National Gendarmerie Intervention Group. I am told there is one Israeli that is on the assassination squad and that plans were formalized. Again, this person provided concrete proof that they are well placed within the French government apparatus. Further to this point, this person claims that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Journalist Xavier Poussard's life is also at risk. This is deadly serious. The head of state of France apparently wants us both dead and has authorized professional units to carry this out. I ask that every person retweet and share this. I do not know who in the American government can be trusted since this source claims that our leaders are aware. But I have more specific information, which is definitively verifiable, should they care to reach out to me. And to the brave official in France who did this because they were so moved by the evil of Charlie's public execution to risk their own life.
Get right to it.
May God bless you truly. Let all be revealed. Now, I got even more specific, right? I said there was a paper trail that Macron allegedly paid $1.5 million. And I am saying allegedly because until I can physically see with my own eyes inside of these accounts and verify the transfer of that payment, it's of course alleged. The amount is
until she sees what she claims.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to hear that again.
Listening.
Yeah, I am, but I want to hear that portion again because I think that's here we go.
To risk their own life. May God bless you truly. Let all be revealed. Now, I got even more specific. Right? I said there was a paper trail that Macron allegedly paid $1.5 million. And I am saying allegedly because until I can physically see with my own eyes inside of these accounts and verify the transfer of that payment, it's of course alleged. The amount is alleged.
Saves you from
2 assassins were hired, one Israeli, one French Canadian woman. Okay, a man and a woman. And I also said that the money ran through the elite gentleman club descente. Again, I was very specific. And I asserted that the French Foreign Legion, which was a legion and a group that I had never heard about prior to this notification, were involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Okay, I don't follow military stuff. So me even mentioning specific gendarmerie, you have to assume that I got this information from somebody. Now, if you are, in fact, currently at this moment, the first man of France, that would be Brigitte Macron, and you are currently suing a podcaster in America named Candace Owens for defamation, for telling the truth, right? And the story that you are trying to sell to the public is that you were really deep down in your heart, you really believe that you are a woman and Candace is just crazy and desperate for clicks and willing to defame you for money. Then Candace Owens publicly proclaiming and accusing you of something directly implicated in her assassination, a claim which has gone viral. When I say viral, I mean just the tweet alone had over 100,000 retweets and 45 million impressions on X alone, okay? This would be your unique opportunity as the French first man to prove your case about Candace to the public.
French first man.
This is... No, Candace. This is not proof of anything. Although, like, that's worthy of looking at for sure. But, like, there's people who sue people just to be like, look, I'm suing them. So that means I'm legit and that person's full of shit, right? Because I'm actually doing the action of suing, right? Then there's also the level where it's like, whatever, a settlement happens, right? Or I don't want to get tied up in legal stuff, legal fees, so thus they don't even bring up a case or whatever. Like, I'm just saying of scenarios where it is possible for someone to just not go into, I'm going to sue you, right? And that became a thing in all these different other genres, like with sports and like steroids, right? Like how come he's not suing, huh? If he's not going to sue them, that means he's probably guilty, which is not good enough for me. It's a point worth bringing up. You should bring it up, but it's not good enough for, that means he was actually trying to assassinate you, Candace. That's not good enough. So hopefully she has something better than that following all of this, right?
But you know what it does do? It provides her an out of saying, look, this is intimidation of a witness, also known as witness tampering. You got to throw this case out. She can't sue me and threaten me.
Yeah.
And the judge might throw it out if there is a scrape of circumstantial evidence.
Hey, man, I've heard some wild theories that have gone viral and had some views to it or whatever the fuck, right? And I'm trying to like think of one. It's not coming to mind. I wanted to say David Icke in the reptilian shit, but I don't think that's not what I'm thinking of. There's something else where it's like actually like a bigger, like more popular case where it's like they got no response, right? How come they won't sue me if I'm saying all this stuff? How come they're not suing me? Right? And it's like that's not good enough. That's not good enough. I get the point. I get why they say that, but that's not good enough. To be like, okay, we now all believe that the French president tried to kill Candace Owens because they're not suing?
They are suing.
No, but the lawsuit's about something else, according to Candace, right?
No, it's
something a lot more petty, actually.
It's about the dick. That's what it's about. Whether she has
a lot
one
more
or not.
petty. Right? I could take this logic and turn it on its head, right? Of like, fuck. Why even like that thing itself gave it like a lot of attention, right? The lawsuit itself, right? If there's an actual assassination plot, like
what's it called? The Streisand effect. You thinking that?
Well, yeah, man. I had like a better point. Brain farting right now, but it's just I don't know, like going from to turn the logic around a bit in a way, going from kind of a petty, kind of civil case about, hey, stop saying my wife has a dick, to now we're gonna kill you. Isn't that also a logical leap to be the case? Is there something in between lawsuit and assassination that Macron could be doing if he actually does care about this that much. Is there something in between you could do? Maybe this whole thing's not about assassination. Maybe it's a threat, where it's like not so much directly assassination, but she's saying she has like fucking receipts about it, right? She is saying that, right? She's saying like, "Oh, I have receipts. I talked to a guy that's actually a part of the French or has connections within the French government that have told me, yo, this guy wants to kill you." It's more than just threats. So they went from like petty civil case shit to all out, we're just going to kill you. And I'm trying to like figure out the logic of it.
You're forgetting. You're forgetting a step. Macron held over Trump ending a war.
But that would give a reason for the U.S. to take out Candace, more so than Macron's. Macron's like, yo, take out, tell her to shut the fuck up about this. So then I'll do real negotiations with Russia and Ukraine,
which came before assassination attempt.
Yes,
I will have multiple people die before I try to assassinate this one person that has no substantial security compared to a country.
Right? Couldn't Macron like twist more arms to get her to shut up about things? Couldn't he do that? But then again, like she's including them in regards to Charlie Kirk. I'm like, what would be the reason for that? That's why it's like it's just whatever. Okay. Either way, let's hear Candace out more. I
thought the Charlie Kirk thing was he also reported, or was she reported, or am I wrong about that?
Wait, what do you mean?
The Bridget Macron shit.
There was something about like Charlie having I'm having a problem with these French guys, even though early on it was about Israel, right? But it could be like.
Did anyone say that other than Candace?
I did not hear it anywhere else. I've heard it from people reporting on Candace, essentially, right? Or like copying Candace's like news stories, kind of in a way. So it's just like, hey man, this video where she's like, listen guys, I'm taking off a week because you know what? I'm being there's a potential assassination attempt against me. And I'm telling the proper authorities to take care of this, right? So I expect if you do actually go live, right, the reason why you took off is because you're worried about being attacked or assassinated or whatever. Thus, if you come back to, actual content creation, quote unquote, actually live streaming, even though I kind of doubt that, that means you have to let it go now, right? You have to I'm saying whatever the fuck I gotta say. And I will give her room for that. I will leave room for that because there's a lot of time left in this video, right? We're fucking 6 minutes in. Plenty of time left. So let's hear Candace out. Let's hear Miss Candy. And here we go. Whatever.
Right? In the court of public opinion, this would be your time to slam dunk. Remember, the French couple has been so psychotically obsessed with trying to paint me as conflicted in my reporting that they even hired a private investigator to try to see if I was colluding with other state actors. They kind of gloriously insinuated that I might be working with Russia. They paid for that. They paid for that investigation.
So sorry. I thought she was the one obsessed.
I can 100% believe that that the Macrons would hire someone to PI against her, right? To privately investigate her. I can 100% believe that. And then she's also done that herself, right? With RFK, right? She had this fool follow. They took pictures inside of a fucking garage of an alleged van that was given to one of RFK Jr.'s lovers, right? The current RFK, not his dad that passed away, also assassinated. But okay, that makes sense to me with these fucking rich guy political fucking shit, bro. That makes sense to me. Well, let's
that takes some balls for her to say that they're so obsessed with her that they're. But isn't she the one that's obsessed, and that's why they're suing her because she won't get off her nuts?
It's good content, Jesse. It's not obsession. It's good content, bro. Shut up. How dare you? Watch your fucking mouth, Jesse. Okay? Pause. Watch it. Didn't they submit, like, in their minds or in their world, like, oh, we're submitting scientific evidence that Brigitte Macron is not a man, right? And Candace said, I don't believe you. You're a man.
They said,
and moved on.
They said they were. They said they were going to. As far as I know, they never did.
But why would that?
Well, no. So something she has not ever reported on was the things that they did send her. She's never reported on that stuff. Like they sent her a shitload of
or
stuff,
sent to the
even
court or
even
whatever.
before that scientific thing. I seen some channels that were trying to like debunk or whatever what she's saying, and they're the only ones that I've ever seen on the detail of like the amount of information that they actually did give her beforehand.
Yeah.
But I think the first time it went into like it went to the address of like her lawyer or whatever she has on record of how they sue her, like in that like the process, right? There's a process to it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, these people are, this law office is suing, or so they did it that way, and I think initially it didn't reach her, like it went to the lawyer or something, and then like eventually she had to have gotten it, but I don't know. It's just the whole thing's kind of stupid.
Well, it's got to be kind of weird that as soon as she starts tying in the Macrons into the Charlie Kirk case, which is the main thing she was covering, right? All of a sudden, now there's an assassination plot against her as well, which ties all the whole story, her whole saga of stories into one thing. Like, perfect for, it's Jon Snow meeting Daenerys in fucking Game of Thrones. It's like, oh my god, these characters finally met. It's like these, like, what's it come when it comes to like TV writing, that is perfectly in line with that. I'm sorry, Candace, that you can see it that way. I'm just saying.
But that makes sense for the Candace show.
That's incredible, man. And once again, even people calling her mentally ill for doing this stuff. I mean, let's say she's full of shit, right? Let's say she's making shit up for the sake of her content, right? Now, I would definitely call that mentally ill, but that's not the way like someone like Timmy Pool's going about it, or someone like that. They're saying like, "Oh my god, she needs to be on medicine." Like they're giving her like kind of the Kanye treatment, right? In which case, you're dismissing the logic of what she's saying. I can't do that either. Right? I can't just dismiss her logic. But at the same time, like, that level of corruption is mental illness to me. That is the crux of mental illness. But either way, okay. Not saying that's the case. I'm saying I'm willing to listen. Here's Candace, and it, like all logic points to, let it fly, Candace. Tell us everything then. Especially if there's a portion in here that says, where she's saying, oh, well, the U.S. government won't listen to me. The president won't listen to me. They dismiss me. If that's the case, like, here's your only place to let it go. Right? But all right, let's hit play here. Here we go.
So using that logic, wouldn't this be the opportunity?
I want to see reactions. I want to see you.
If you're the French couple to come out and to prove your point, to make a stunning and a swift statement, right? We are shocked by the accusation.
And maybe that can happen.
Never in a million years. Oh, we told you guys, this is just for clicks, it's for money. This is beyond anything we've ever heard. I hope Candace gets well soon. That would be what I would say you should do if I'm advising you from a PR standpoint, right? In American basketball terms, this is like a flagrant foul, and you now get some free throws, right? If you're the French couple, you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, investigative fees, and PR fees in a country on the other side of the Atlantic, trying desperately to paint me as a lunatic, and I give you the opportunity to spike the ball to prove that I'm a lunatic, and you don't do it? No, they didn't do it, did they? If you're paying attention, they did not do it.
Go ahead.
Of course, they send out the people on Twitter who get to come out and say, oh, I think she's crazy. I think she's making it up. They do this. We are always doing this every week. Oh, Trump never called her about Brigitte Macron. She's making that up for attention. Oh, she's lying. Charlie Kirk never changed his mind about Israel. She's making that up for attention. This is what we do every week, right? We're hamsters on a wheel. And so we're back to that again, right? People saying that I made it up.
Not good enough.
But what did
Candace.
the French couple do? That's what matters.
Bro,
It's now
she's
been a
watching
full
your
week since
show.
I made that announcement. And here is the official response issued by the Élysée Palace.
Get it.
Nothing.
Chirping.
Nothing. I want you to bear in mind that this
got
was
it.
front
Crickets,
page global news from the United States to Russia. And I publicly challenged the Candace is making everything up crowd to prove it. Press the White House for a response, right? The White House the ball's very firmly in their court. And a week later, this is the official White House response.
Is that a pun?
Well, oh, God.
Publicly. But
So no
Candace,
response.
hold on. Candace, they're not, I don't think that'd be a good idea to outwardly just say, hey, guys, listen, America, Candace is under threat, right? She's under threat by the French government. Like, these guys wouldn't move in that form or they wouldn't do that. You want something personal to you, right? Not publicly, right, Candace? Right? You want a private statement from the White House or from some sort of 3-letter agency. They say like, oh, don't worry, Candace, we're on the fucking job. We confirm or we don't confirm whatever the fuck you sent us and yada, 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 right? I'm just saying. But, all right.
No, not private. We need to run ads. Can't be private.
Once again, just want to showcase this again. You can see here, as an update, both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies have confirmed receipts of what I reported publicly. Emmanuel Macron attempted to organize my assassination per a source close to the first couple, right? That says that right there. She confirmed, right? Confirmed. So she has to deal with that as far as scrutiny goes in this portion, or sorry, in this video at some point. Let's hear. Here we go.
So what are we to make of that, you guys? Did I report it to the White House? Of course I reported it to the White House. Did I report it to the FBI? Of course I reported it to the FBI. Did I report it to our counterterrorism unit? Of course I reported it because I'm telling you there's a paper trail. Common sense. You think I'm just doing that because I'm assuming you could get a felony for making something up out of thin air like that. You can't just use United States resources to go after somebody in a plot that never existed that you did for clicks on YouTube. So what's the issue here? Why is no one coming out and telling you that
they wouldn't make that?
That's completely baseless, especially the Charlie Kirk assassination. The whole world is invested in that assassination. Wouldn't you want to shut that down? The idea that it was a multinationally planned event. And by the way, is that on its face even plausible? Multiple agencies and multiple countries involved from Egypt to Israel. People are saying that's totally crazy. No, it's the lone shooter who had never been on campus, who climbed the roofs like Spider-Man, happened to know where Charlie would be sitting and hit that shot in 4 seconds. Is it plausible that that's not the truth? Of course it's plausible. Anyone who knows anything about the French government probably knows that they have an appetite for cruelty and sexual deviancy. Anybody who has made it through the first couple of episodes of Becoming Brigitte knows that the French government has an appetite for cruelty and sexual deviancy. Okay? LOL. The city of romance, really? Romance with who? Exactly. That's one of the broader points of the Becoming Brigitte series.
What is she saying?
And so I'd like to thank Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram, for being one of the first people to stick out his neck immediately and to assert what the entire world already knows about France. Here's what he said. He said, after reviewing everything Charlie Kirk has ever said about Macron's France, I find Candace's information about French involvement in his death entirely plausible. Charlie even called for 300% tariffs on France until the charges against me were dropped. And I also would like to shout out.
Can you show us, like, at the very least, can she show us that, like, hey, here's me reporting to these guys, whether it's a phone recording, an email, whatever the fuck you did, official court paper, whatever the fuck you did. Is it okay to show that? Is that, am I crazy about that, or is that like too much?
No, there's a paper trail that the government keeps that they're not going to release.
No, but she has her own paper trail she could show, right? Is that illegal?
No. It's confirmed that the government has a paper trail that they don't have to release.
How is... You're trolling right because how is that confirmed for us? How is, like, she's saying
it's
she's saying it to us. But she's saying it
It's
to us. How is it confirmed for us?
Bro,
It's not.
It's confirmed.
Oh, you're fucking trolling. Stop it. But yeah, how the fuck? Like this is your like. Candace is saying that these guys won't do anything about her case, right? Then why? Like you should be letting it fly right now, right? She should be like I'm sure she would talk to her own lawyers, be like, okay, what can I or can't I say? All right. But
Bro,
even that would fall under this. Hold on, real quick. That would fall under suspicion because of what she's claiming in the first place, right? If like, oh, these guys, they would totally lie to you. They would hide it. They would omit information. They would do all this stuff. Like, well, why can't you do that, Candace? Thus, she's adding scrutiny to her own fucking statements. We can't just be like, oh my god, it's Candace. She wouldn't lie to me. That'd be stupid to do, right? But go ahead. I'm just perplexed. But
if assassins were trying to kill you, and someone came to you with it, and like you know how to expose the person that came to you with it, even if they were helpful to you, if it was going to kill you, wouldn't that be a consideration at least? Hey, this person told me, and here's the proof they have. I'll just tell you who that is publicly.
Or you could do distortion. You can hide. You can redact names. You could try to do that at the very least, right? But hey, guys, I'm not lying, but I'm not going to burn this person. So I'm going to like distort their voice, whether it's like a voice call thing or it's an email or something like that, where it's like, okay, I'm going to fucking hide their name, but this person said this to me. You'd do that, wouldn't you?
If you're about to get murdered, fuck this dude's job.
Well, it's not his job. He would be under death threat because they're willing to assassinate a kind of famous public figure in America, in a foreign country. That takes a lot of work to do, right? So thus, some guy that like actually lives in their country and works for their government or whatever the fuck this guy does, that'd be like kind of nothing, right? That'd be no big deal to try to kill that guy. I'm just saying, but it's like I don't know. Like, is this person still working for their government? Are they still close to the Macrons? Like, what's going on here? Can you show us anything? I mean, anything. Remember, like you said, hopefully, like once again, based on the character, like maybe they mean so well and they're so moral and so whatever the fuck that they wouldn't want to expose someone else's name to get them in trouble. But you can show us something for sure, because like it's either expose it or die, essentially, right? That's kind of the scenario, right? Expose or die, because your own government's not going to do anything about this, according to Candace, right? We got crickets from them, essentially. So thus, you have to do something. How comfortable does she look?
How comfortable does she look on that camera right now?
She looks like everyday Candace to me. It's to me,
right?
But maybe she's just very composed. Maybe she's
okay.
Maybe she's like she fights so hard for righteousness that she's not scared of anything, and she can just do this. Maybe I leave room for that.
But
I leave room for that.
But she was so paranoid that she needed to take a week off at the same time.
Yeah, I know. See how it's like logically just like, damn, the more stones you throw at this fucking wall, she's like fucking crumbling, and half the walls like kind of crumbling a bit on the side over there. Things are getting weaker. The structure's getting weakened. She's got a lot to do. And how much time? A little bit less than an hour, right? Maybe 50-something minutes. All right, Candace. Here we go. Let's find out, I guess. Oh, God.
Make that sandwich.
Oh, my God. All right, here we go.
Freddie Ponton, who wrote this article reminding people, and when I say reminding, I mean teaching people, if you're me, because I didn't know this, that exactly this satellite of countries, France, Israel, the French Legion, the United States, Egypt, were quite literally involved in exactly this sort of operation, which further reaching global implications, involving the Safari Club in Egypt. Now, if you haven't heard of that, this was
21st Century Wire. I'm aware of them.
Let me try. Zimbabwe killed Charlie Kirk. Oh, it's not that hard to lie? Oh, okay.
Well, this is not benefit of the doubt for me at all. It's more so, here's what you're presenting, and here's me questioning it, is basically what I'm doing right now. That's all I have to deal with. It is what it is. Let's give her more time here. But she's referring to shit outside of the direct, like she is the direct source of things. Sure, the French person that told her something, that'd be more the primary source in regards to that, right? But her telling authorities that, hey, these guys are trying to kill me, and I have it on like good faith, based on like good evidence or a good witness or whatever the fuck, that this is legit. That means she has that, which makes her primary in that case. In that scenario, she's primary in regards to the idea of her reporting to the fucking authorities, to the White House directly, and to these three-letter agencies, right? Typically FBI. So she can directly source from herself. She doesn't have to source. She doesn't have to hide. Like, there's no redactions needed. It's you directly doing it. When you make a 911 call, guess what happens? You're recorded. And guess what? That can get FOIA'd into existence, right? Why need to wait for FOIAs when you have it right there? You're that. You are part of that directly. So please, give us something outside of 21st century fucking Wire or some random French guy. Right? Give us like actual direct shit because you're the one in the middle of this case. Christ. And your life's on the, like Dubster said, your life's on the fucking line. You shouldn't be playing around with this. You shouldn't be making this into a fucking TV series for a week. It should be like direct, like, yo, guys, I'm under threat. Here's how, here's who, here's what. All of it. Like, come on, like, right? Am I tripping about that? That should be like the first thing you do, right?
I thought the last video you just showed was about her. She got killed. Did she come back?
Well, that last video, she has not said, I agree with this thing. So I'll leave that. I'll be fair with that. But
At the end of the day,
what?
You would say Candace is cold, like stone cold, fucking like psycho, right? Or whatever it is.
If she actually believes she's under threat and she's behaving this way, oh my dear Lord, are the lights on inside?
No, hold on. No, that's not what I'm asking. You've called her like psychotic, right?
Yeah, Psycho Oprah. Yeah.
Okay. So if someone gives you a tip that you're gonna be killed, then what does a psycho think?
I would think hyper analytical, right? I would think.
Right. And well, in the day, me or the person that told me, and you're just weighing that, it's gonna help me if I expose you. Stay alive, like last ditch effort kind of thing.
Yeah, no empathy. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the stereotypes of the pathology, right? Of no empathy towards anyone else. Like, I'll just expose you because I need to save my own ass, right? Type of thing.
Right.
Fair. That's fair enough.
So maybe she doesn't think it's a real threat. That would be my only thinking is.
Maybe she's not worried about it. Yeah, which would be like a not threat, but still could be like an actual threat.
French aren't good. The French aren't good at assassinating.
You need to fucking grab your beret and. Oh. Okay. All right. Let's continue, I guess. Here's more Candace.
Exactly this sort of operation, which further reaching global implications, involving the Safari Club in Egypt.
I've heard
if you haven't heard of that, this was the article that he wrote, passed as prologue. Safari Club illuminates Candace Owens' allegations. I had never heard of this. I really hadn't, okay? Because I feel like I'm Alice in Wonderland. A few years ago, I kind of believed everything.
You're a direct source right here,
there were good
Candace.
guys. And after the Charlie Kirk assassination, I'm going, oh, wait, no. Nobody is a good guy. These are like gangs that are running the world, obviously. Gangs that have gone mainstream, and democracy and the idea of a republic is just an illusion. Well, anyways, in that article, I'm not going to read a paragraph from it, but he said, when Candace Owens claimed on X that a high-ranking French government insider warned her of an imminent plot to have her assassinated, alleging that President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte had authorized and financed the operation, assigning it to a small national gendarmerie intervention group team that included an Israeli operative. She also suggested that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion with multi-state involvement. The claim sounded like it belonged to the realm of conspiracy thrillers, and yet, as the allegation ricocheted across social media, something unusual happened. People did not instinctively laugh it off. Some dismissed it, yes, but many hesitated, paused, or quietly admitted that given the right circumstances, given the right network of covert actors, such a plot didn't feel entirely impossible. That hesitation doesn't come from trust in Owens. It comes from history. And sure enough, and I'm just pulling up the Wikipedia page here, you should go read that article in its entirety. Yeah. But the Safari Club, man, a covert alliance of intelligence services formed in 1976 that ran operations around Africa when the United States Congress had limited the power of the CIA after years of abuses. They decided to kind of go overseas and handle business. They had members in pre-revolutionary Iran, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Morocco, and France. Israel's involved, Rhodesia, South Africa. I mean, it tells you there that the processes then resulted in the 1979 Egypt-Israel peace treaty. Peace. Okay, cool.
Once again, the logic I'm kind of carrying with me. I'll get back to the video, but it's just like, why the fuck France or Israel when it comes to Candace Owens or Charlie fucking Kirk? Why the fuck are those guys threats at all? They're not. They're not actual threats. I've not seen a sense of them being actual threats at all. I really don't see it. I don't. I see words being said out loud, but when it comes to political maneuverings and geopolitics from the U.S. government, I don't see their impact. I hear them saying I hear Candace saying her and Charlie's impact, but I don't actually see the actual impact anywhere. I really don't. You're better off knocking off some fucking random activists on the fucking streets that no one knows about yet. They're like, man, this guy's really charismatic. They're really popular. You know what? We'll knock them off. That makes way more sense to me than this shit. I'm sorry, bro, because you brought up her fucking dick, allegedly. Her alleged cock. That's why they need to take you out for it. Take you and Charlie out for it. Like, what the fuck? That is just like, it's just taking the story, just like, once again, she could maybe believe this. I'll say fair. If she actually believes this, then yes, you got my support, Candace, as far as like, this is what you believe and you're saying what you believe out loud. You have my support in that regard. But when it comes, like, I'm trying to use my logic with this, it doesn't fucking work for me yet. Not yet, at least. I'm not getting it. I'm really not. But all right, let's continue. Here we go.
Like I said, read more about that. Now, in terms of formal replies that we received from government structures, the only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say, I did not at all hear back from the FBI.
Here's some receipts. Okay.
On the American side. I did hear back from the counterterrorism unit. I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk, me saying that I had the information. I guess he didn't want to inquire further, which is interesting. But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that. But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message.
That's not good enough. No, it's not.
No response. Now, I thought that the claim of the French Foreign Legion being involved in Charlie's assassination, I thought the FBI might be interested. No phone calls even from Utah's FBI branch have come into me either. Wouldn't you want to see? Aren't we supposed to be investigating the Charlie Kirk assassination? It was totally not a state operation, and they really want to get to the truth, which explains why nobody called. No, Utah, not interested. I'm actually surprised Tyler Robinson's lawyer hasn't reached out to me.
Is anyone else like here, like seeing what I'm seeing a little bit, like where it's like, so you didn't go to the official FBI outpost of Utah. You didn't go to the actual FBI. You went to a, I don't know who, counterterrorism group. Like, who are you talking about? I don't know who, what agency. And you have, I guess, receipts that it landed on Trump's desk or something like that. He's like, oh, whatever. Where is, like, I want to read that again. As an update, both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies. Who? What agencies? Who? You said FBI by name, but like who? Have confirmed. Okay, maybe she means confirmed receiving, and it's a typo, right? They confirmed they received of what I reported publicly, which is not the same as confirming the. You should edit that, right? Or fix it. Did she address it?
No, that's exactly what it says. Confirmed receipt. Yeah, we got what you
Confirmed
said.
receipt of what I reported publicly. No, but she's saying
Yeah.
in this video, she's saying they were like she has receipts that they received what she sent, but not confirmation of it being legit or not. But this looks like this reads more so like they confirm what she believes.
Yeah, no, there's no statement of what they believe. She's saying that she's confirming that they received what she said. It sounds,
But receipt? Why would you use that word? Receipt. Why would you use that word here? Doesn't make sense, right? Is that a typo?
A confirmed receipt. That means receiving it.
Oh, come on.
It implies
with typical language there.
It implies she has some kind of record that they received the stuff she sent them.
It
Why would
sounds
you
one
say-
way, but what she's actually saying is not that.
Why would you? Right? Who writes like that, right?
Because it's on purpose. It makes it sound like much more than it is.
When you have typical informal language, when people hear receipts, right? They hear the idea of like, oh my God, you have proof, essentially, right? I have the receipts.
Yeah.
Candace uses that language, right? She uses that language quite a bit, right?
Sure.
So would you say like it's confirmed they received they received what I
Yes.
Right? That's more of what you would say though. Right? You would say that instead so people aren't confused at all.
No, she wants people to be confused. Obviously, like based on these words, she wants people to be confused.
I'm wrecked by that, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah,
I think you would go with this video, but the video I put in chat, like, actually talks about the things that they sent her, and she said she didn't look at it. It's like the Macron's response, the legal stuff.
Hold on. Hold on. Real quick. Candace receipt simply means someone opened an email or logged an online report. It does not confirm your claim, your source, or your interpretation. That's not how intelligence verification works, and you know it. But like, that would be someone like purposely using the word receipt. When we know, like, colloquially, like we understand that as being like, oh yeah, proof, or they confirmed your proof, your receipts in a way, right?
No.
But who talks like she doesn't talk like that though. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, you ever heard the phrase "left on red"?
No.
It means I can see that you have you can, like, for example, text messaging in Facebook. I can see that you have read it.
Yeah,
like there's a little check mark that says you've read the content.
Oh, okay. You mean like, okay, the double checks of like, okay, it was received and it was read. Got it.
Right.
But that's But what language would you use?
That's what she means.
Okay, but what language would you use if you're Candace? Once again, Candace uses the word receipt in the sense of, and I have my receipts with me, as in like, I have, right, in an informal language thing, like I have the evidence of something, right? I had the receipts. That's how it's typically used by her herself too. So why would she use that word receipt in that regard? Why would she do that? Why would she say like it was confirmed that these guys received my information? Why wouldn't she do that? It's more obvious.
What like if she has something, she would show it. Like or she could save it for the next episode, but not just holding on to stuff.
Jesse, this is not me trying to. I'm not going leaning in any direction. I'm going on the surface, right in front of your faces, right? Typically of what Candace talks like, right? And then her using this language for a fucking tweet to almost implies something in a way. Now I'm not gonna leap and say, oh, she's doing this on purpose. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, if I read it on the surface the way it is, like, why would you do this, Candace? Why would you use these
But
words
it does
like
imply
this?
it's confusing, right? Like it's
No, it's like that's
like
the thing.
you have to
I
read
could
it like
believe
2 to
she's
3
full of shit.
times
I
just to
understand.
get like the correct thing that she's saying.
I understand
Because it
she could be
looks like
full
it
of
says
shit.
something different.
I understand she could be full of shit, but I'm going from the perspective of what if she's not full of shit? And I'm trying to find a scenario where that makes sense to do. Rather than like be as clear as possible. Especially when you're saying your life is on the line, right? And you claim to care about your life. Like all those things mixed together. Right? I'm trying to go from the perspective of a person who like, oh my God, I believe Candace, right? Why would she do that to you? Okay, whatever. Let's read her spot. Why are you explaining English to me like I'm not a night? Because it's like, once again, this is me taking her at face value, right? And I'm looking from the perspective, from the glasses of a fan who believes Candace, right?
Who are you talking
know
to somebody?
Dude, I'm empathizing with her
Yeah,
audience.
right there. She's saying it right there where you're pointing to.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't finish reading it. But whatever. Okay, I guess she does. I said what I meant. They confirmed receipt of my claim. She knows what the like. Come on, you use this language, Candace. It's like the girl at the CNN thing, which is like they is a word. You know what they means? Duh. It's like, but you're implying something when you say they. Who are the they there? What does that mean exactly? Like this is such a what is the word they call it? What do they call it? I guess semantics, but there's another word for it. Sophistry, I think is another word they use for it. Something like that. Obviously, they will have to investigate it and then inform the public as to whether or not I made it up, which I did not. So it's like you're saying, either way, whatever. Let's go back to this. Either way, you can.
I filed what she said to sum up everything she said.
You can file a police
filed a
report about
complaint.
damn near anything.
I filed a complaint. I filed a complaint with the government to sum up everything she really said.
Yeah, but what's the actual extravagance of what she's doing with it? And I understand, guys, that you guys are already skeptical, right, of Candace Owens. I'm trying to walk through the.
We're just explaining exactly what she's saying. It's like,
no, but I'm trying to. Okay, I'm trying to walk from the perspective of the Candace person that, well, either they don't know Candace Owens and they're hearing this for the first time, or they're fans of Candace Owens and they heard her, and they just love her no matter what. I think that's very, very important to do, rather than just say, "Oh, there's idiots wrong" or whatever the fuck. I mean, I do that in certain situations, but with this one, I'm trying to walk from their perspective and see, okay, what are they seeing in regards to this? And they have to have heard the idea of receipts from Candace before, and it's used a different way.
Well, okay, let me elaborate. I filed a complaint with the government, and I got a receipt that I filed a complaint with the government.
Yeah, well, apparently that's what she's saying, right? But I'm saying, like, once again, when the fan sees that, are they seeing what you just said right there? Or are they seeing, oh my God, Candace confirmed that this exists, that this is real, that this is true, and it's confirmed by the government back to her. She has receipts for it, right?
All she got to do is say, "I spoke plain English."
Yeah.
Yes, she's saying that. I'm saying the fan who's not. They're not double checking. They're just. It's Candace saying it's. Oh, okay, I'm going this direction. That makes sense, right? what I'm saying? Like you're putting yourself in their shoes to see, like, okay, can I be such a dope and such a fan of Candace at the same time to, like, buy it in this direction?
Of course, you can do that with anyone. And many people do with everybody.
And it's important to go over for diagnosis of how the fuck this shit happens in the first fucking place. How this shit gets like a avalanche, a roller coaster of fucking support behind it. With no actual evidence behind it. I'm just saying, like, I think that's important to look at. I really do. And I think it's being sold that way because you wouldn't. Why would she use the word receipt like that? Why would she do that? Right? It's like she knows what she says typically, right? Oh, and I have receipts for this. Did she mean like she got a receipt from fucking her grocery mart? Or does she mean I have evidence for what I'm saying? Don't you know English? Huh? Receipt means this. It's like, you don't typically use it that way, do you? You don't, do you? So it's like weird. That's
No,
weird.
I never say that shit. But I know what people are saying when they say, I got the receipts.
Yeah, exactly, right? You don't call 911 and be like, they have my receipt. Wouldn't that, like, in your like typical social shit in 2025 would mean like they know your evidence, like your evidence is legit. They have the receipts, as in they have the proof that you're correct, right? Isn't that typically what people would think initially? They would think that. They wouldn't think of received. They received your complaint.
No, I got a receipt.
No, she's saying they received her.
Candace.
She said it's my my receipt was confirmed, as in like. Doesn't that set like?
Oh, she says the word confirmation first, then receipt. She's got a receipt that it's confirmed that they have received her complaint.
It's like you wouldn't say. Okay, fair enough. I get what you're saying, like in typical language. That makes sense. I get that. What both of you guys are saying, but I'm just saying, like, you're talking on Twitter to your fan base or people that are curious about your whole situation. Wouldn't you be like, it's confirmed that they received my fucking complaint or my statements about something, right? Wouldn't you say that? Is Miss Lee? Lee Harvey, wait, Lee Oswald Harvey, is she so fucking strict with her fucking language like that? Like, come on. All right, whatever. Let's hit play here. Here we go. Fuck it.
What's going on here?
Yeah, what is going on here?
We've got to protect the Patsy, right? We've got to protect the Patsy in this situation. Regarding the only official that we did receive any sort of a public response from, it reads to me like a confession. Let me know if you agree. So I pointed out that interestingly enough, after I began researching the French Legion, I very quickly stumbled upon the fact that they were also involved in a joint operation with American troops in the exact weeks leading up to Charlie's assassination. More specifically, according to the French Foreign Legion website, between August 2nd and August 25th of this year, the Legionnaires from the 4th Company, 2nd Foreign Infantry Regiment, the 6th Light Armored Brigade, were integrated with U.S. Marines of the 6th Marine Regiment for a 3-week training deployment. Okay, that took.
Okay, she just tied, right? She said the U.S. received her fucking thing, right? Received her complaint and her evidence or whatever the fuck, right? And now she goes from that to like, well, I got crickets from it, right? I got nothing from them. And then she goes right to, see, look, U.S. Marines were training with these French guys. It's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, right?
Was that what she's saying? That we're trying to kill her in a training program?
Well, you can see like implications of that, kind of, right? Someone can like paint that picture based on what she's saying. She said U.S. Marines are training with French Foreign Legionnaires, right? But she said that right after she said, what? I sent my complaints in. I made a criminal complaint, right? And she heard crickets from them, right? And now she's showing that the U.S. Marines, U.S. personnel are working with these French guys, right? You see
They have
the pictures
Yeah,
she's
but I think
painting?
it gets worse.
which they
I
have
think
since the
the
Revolutionary
allegation,
War.
the allegation, I think, is that this joint operation is what killed Charlie. Like
Yes,
that's
meaning the
where it
French.
leads.
It's as far as what she's implying so far is the French, the Israelis, and the U.S. and U.S. military personnel were part of this whole Charlie Kirk thing, or
Right,
and
right. There's
and
been some
and or
reports about
against
the
her.
airspace, that like these planes that
Yes,
flew
with
like
Egypt
during,
as well. Yes,
yeah, all that stuff.
it's like an and or
I mean,
with
yeah.
her own. I guess someone trying to assassinate her. It's like why would the French president dish out personal money to do a thing along with U.S. personnel to take out Candace Owens? Why not just make it governmental to where it's like absolutely top secret? Why not do that?
Well, maybe there's more to it. She's gonna tell us she ran by a French guy and he winked at her.
Okay.
Isn't she saying that she exposed that Macron's wife was a man?
Yes, that's part of her TV series. Please check out Candace's playlist on her TV series about Macron's wife's cock. Please do so. I haven't watched it myself, but you know what? You guys go ahead and watch it if you want.
Maybe they're mad about that.
It's just so bad about it. Let's take her out. You know what? Let's take out Charlie Kirk too while we're at it. Let's take him out too. Fuck my life. All right, here we go.
Took place in
Yeah, I'm
California.
wrecked mentally.
Okay. And then once that training ended, I said this online, another camp began immediately. It was a joint exercise with civilians, which included military men from the Minot Air Force Base. And that joint exercise took place in Minnesota at Camp Ripley. And that ran just for a couple of days until August 27th. And that was known as Operation Valhalla. Okay. Random 3-day exercise with civilians. And I was wondering if the French legionnaires that were in California maybe jumped right
She's
into
gonna go to Cash Patel
activities
saying, "I'll see
going
you
on
in
with
Valhalla."
these civilians at Camp Ripley. But I typoed on X and I wrote Camp Riley. Okay. So I wrote, it's not a coincidence that the French legionnaires were in the United States training with our Marines for 3 weeks. And when those 3 weeks ended in California, another military training exercise began alongside civilians at Camp Riley in Minnesota. Should have said Ripley. Now, you will recall, for those of you who are following the Becoming Brigitte series, that the preferred Macron response is to never address the substance of the claims, but to instead focus on minor details that somebody may get wrong. That's how they've gone after every journalist who has covered the fact that Brigitte Macron was born a male, right? Oopsies, you messed up on this one detail, and now we're going to sue you for defamation. But not, of course, the substance, which is like, hey, you lived as a man for a very long time, and the military won't release your file, and we don't know what you were doing in the military, as Jean-Michel Trogneau.
Okay, I'm sorry for pausing again, but it is possible for her to actually showcase her actual complaint, right? Of what was said and all that stuff. She can redact names and redact emails or redact phone numbers, right?
Right.
She can do all that.
Film yourself calling 911.
Exactly. Well, it's already public record, shit like that, right? Maybe this potentially like in a FOIA should be able to be found, right? Because it's a citizen making a complaint to the authorities, right?
FOIAs can be refused.
Well, they could delay them for very long periods of time and kind of refuse to, right? But like, this is the same as someone making a 911 call, right? This is a civilian making a statement to the government without confirmation, right? Of what's what. But you can just show us that you made these you did these actions, right? You did these complaints, you did these informative things, right, to the fucking government, because you're just a regular citizen, right? Just like a 911 call, basically, right? You're not a fucking a government actor, allegedly, which means it wouldn't be top secret, right? So like, why not show us what you sent to them to just reestablish what you're already believing in or whatever the fuck, right? And once again, I'm doing that under the mindset of regular person seeing this. You know? I understand I already have made many statements about Candace being full of shit. But I want to go from that perspective to where it's like, oh my, if you're a regular person, you see it, like, what the fuck is this? How the fuck does this fly? But anyways, all right, here we go.
So me making a spelling error was the perfect way for them to attack the broader story, right? The larger story here being, hey, the French legionnaires might have been on the ground during Charlie Kirk's assassination. So what happened is the minister of the armed forces issued the following statement in France, and I'm going to quote this for you. Quote, Tyler Robinson was never part of the French Foreign Legion. If he did not serve in an American military unit, he could not have trained with the French Foreign Legion. End quote. Well, that's quite a way to dance around things. And Charlie Kirk says, I see what you did there. You just missed the fact that we don't think Tyler Robinson did. So you just are issuing a statement. This is bogus. Tyler Robinson never trained in the French Foreign Legion. Do you mind answering yes or no? If anybody who trained with the French Foreign Legion was on the ground on September 10th at Utah Valley University. And we are asking that explicit question because one of the strangest things is that the UVU students who attended said that they felt like they didn't recognize anybody that was there. It was weird. It was very strange that they advertised for this event really late in the day.
Right, Candace?
And then suddenly we see a bunch of adults and people that they don't recognize at this event. And then afterwards, the national media moves to, it looks like they're almost trying not to interview any UVU students, right? They're interviewing everybody around. You got all these adults who were there, but mysteriously, the UVU students who had some interesting tidbits about what was weird that day just don't flood into the mainstream like we expected them to. Can you answer that question? Yes or no? That seems tricky when it comes to the French government. Yes or no questions are not their thing. Elsewhere in the article, and this is France 24 that reported this, it tells us that, quote, the ministry...
Forgive me, YouTube. This might get me to turn the fucking video off at a certain point because, like, you're just not doing anything, are you? It's like... too much innuendo for something that you're directly privy to. What the fuck is this? Dancing around. Oh my god. I could have once again, Candace, I could easily go with, oh, Candace is full of shit. Fuck this lady, all that shit. Easily. But I leave room for every human being. Well, everyone and everything. I leave room for it. I leave room for a rock to fall down and hit me on the fucking head. You know, instead of just assuming someone threw it at me. I leave room for these things. And this is what we're getting. Once again, you said, I'm taking a week off because, oh my god, I'm under threat. Now the government said, according to Candace, the government said, you know what? We're not going to take this seriously, or we're not going to, like, give you a response about it. So Candace is in the dark about this, right? And your first video back, hold on, and your first video back is this? What the actual fuck? You're not behaving like your life is actually at threat. You're not behaving that way, in my humble opinion, of what the typical person might do, right? Maybe you're a fucking Braveheart motherfucker. I'll leave room for that. But at the very least, something that you're privy to, why not show us what you're privy to? For the sake of your own life, right? Right?
Maybe she stopped eating French fries.
Oh, shit. That shit called poutine?
I'm just joking. Like, you know, that now she's safe because she's not eating French fries.
No more poutine for Candace.
She scheduled this week off a year ago, and she didn't want to be bothered while she was in Fiji.
Candace, Candace and Candace fans, do you hear these statements? I'm being fair about this, and you're still wrong. You're still wronging me. You're still wronging me. I have my own assessments about Candace Owens that I can go very well in depth into, but I'm trying to be fair about this, and I'm still being wronged. How can I stop Dubster or Jesse or anyone saying anything about this? How can I stop them? I can't. I have no answers for this. I don't have any answers. Here we go. Let's continue, but I can't, just for the YouTube audience, I can't tell you how long. Sorry, for the recorded YouTube that see this on recording, I can't promise you how long I'm going to fucking watch this. I have no promises here because I'm waiting for something very simple to provide as someone privy to their own crime against themselves. Right? But, all right, here we go.
And this is France 24 that reported this. It tells us that, quote, the Ministry of the Armed Forces confirms that a training exercise by the 2nd Foreign Infantry Regiment, a unit of the French Foreign Legion, did indeed take place in California from August 2nd to the 25th, as reported by Candace Owens. However, the exercise announced on the ministry's website and the regiment's Facebook page was not clandestine operation. The Ministry of the Armed Forces formally denies that another Foreign Legion training exercise took place at a supposed Camp Riley in Minnesota after the conclusion of the California exercise, and for good reason, because no Camp Riley exists in Minnesota. As Andy Parrish, the former chief of staff to the Republican state representative, pointed out on X. Oh, there is, however, a Camp Ripley, they go on, but this inaccuracy speaks volumes about the credibility of Candace Owens' alleged source. So that's how they're debunking it. A typo. I put Riley, not Ripley, and they can now confirm.
So were they there or were they not there at Camp fucking Ripley, Candace? That's what you're supposed to show now. If they don't answer, does that make them guilty of anything? You can't do that.
All she's doing is, I'm asking.
Oh, your audio, Dubster. Can you hear me?
Hello?
That's better. That's better. Go ahead.
All she's doing is saying, I challenge you, French government, answer my question. Were you at Camp Ripley? Ignore my typo.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, basically. Like, can you prove you weren't at Dairy Queen at 5:55 p.m. on Saturday, November 24th? Can I prove that? No, I was with my family. They might, like, but you could believe that they could lie for me, so I can't really, like, prove that. All right, maybe I have some witnesses, but I can't, like, prove it. Oh, so, like, right. Maybe you were there.
Prove a negative.
Yeah. Okay, but once again, I'm not trying to make Candace look crazy or stupid or full of shit, but from what I'm seeing, Candace is making herself look crazy or stupid or full of shit. I think less so crazy and more so full of shit, other than the psychopathy. But all right, here we go. Once again, try to be fair, so there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt that this isn't coming from a place of, I hate Candace Owens so much, or I love Israel so much, or I love the French so much. It's coming from a place of, I'm hearing out what you're saying, and you're not really giving me anything to really work with here to say, like, oh my God, there's some room here. I mean, other than, like, the bigger conspiratorial idea thing, sure, there's room in that lane. But as far as, like, if you're directly involved in this, you're not giving me anything for me to, like, really go with on this, other than just your own claims. That's all I'm getting. But here we go.
That the French Legion did not take part in any exercise at Camp Riley because it doesn't exist, and Candace Owens is stupid, and so now you should just assume that everything else source said is debunked. This is what you call a non-debunking debunk, a Snopes level debunking over a typo. Okay.
Snopes.
And I guess my other allegations should not be answered or even explored. Now,
Rogan's
I should mention
source,
also
Snopes.
that after that civilian military exercise ended at Camp Ripley on the 27th, another joint military operation began from August 29th through to September 10th, the day that Charlie was shot. And that was known as Operation Bright Star, and that took place in Cairo, Egypt. Now, it is a biennial joint military operation. It's co-hosted by the United States and Egypt to enhance regional security and to strengthen military partnerships. I just don't love the timing of all of these things. I just don't love France and Egypt and the United States together for the whole month leading up to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So I'm going to speculate until we get some answers, some straight yes or no answers from the White House, from the Élysée Palace, or from the French security forces.
We call this fishing.
As it pertains to the French Legion, something else that's kind of interesting is that they basically gutted and replaced about half of their leadership in mid-August. Check out this article published on August 20th. In 2025, a change of command took place across 6 regiments. Now, we researched.
I demand Zimbabwe to tell me how many Zimbabweans were in Utah on September 10th last year. What am I implying?
I mean, I'm going further, bro. How many New York Met fans were in Utah on the morning of September 10th? How many New York Met fans were there, bro? Because you never know.
Both of them. Both of them.
Come on, son. We know they're Mets fans. They might do some crazy shit, okay? So, once again, not trying to dismiss Candace. Just, it's like your life's on the line. Why are we doing your same old TV show? Isn't your life on the line here? Right? If your life's on the line, and you send your information to the U.S. government, and you get crickets, right? You get nothing back. What do you do after that? If you're Candace Owens, do you do a regular ass TV show on YouTube?
Right. Is it worth exposing your location again?
Would you even have there shouldn't even be like a starting now, like an intro video thing, right? Like a lead up to where the live stream actually starts. It shouldn't even be there, right? It should be like, all right, guys, I'm live. Here's what's happening. Yada, 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 right? It should be like all of it, just spilled. Like a person, right? It wouldn't be a show.
Is she on her set?
She's in her typical recording set, yes.
So
she's not in a bunker anywhere.
If there was,
you know,
if there's truth to this, they have tracking capabilities. They know where that is.
Well, once again, I'm not going to associate her with the, silhouette voice distortion video I played before, which looked very comical the way they went about it. It's like almost like there's no actual cares about her life. In regards to that, almost like just feeding off the entertainment of it. But whatever, like I'd feel like there wouldn't be time for getting your hair done and doing makeup and shit for this. It'd be like straight up like, yo, here's the fucking shit.
No. What you do if a serious threat like this really occurs is
you would have transcripts and notes, right?
No, you'd break your phone and use the last bit of your money, get a tracker phone, and you start running.
Well, maybe she's Braveheart about it, right? Maybe she's tough about it. But even in that case, you wouldn't like do your normal TV show. You wouldn't do your normal show. It'd be something different, I would think, right? It'd be like a way to angle for like exposing something or making sure you don't get fucking harmed yourself, right? She's got a family. She had kids, right? And a husband and all that shit. And I think she films from her house. Like, shouldn't you be taking like some crazy precautions? And then when you actually do get a chance to speak out loud to your audience, it'd be so hardcore towards like, hey guys, this is what's happening. Like, this is like trying to expose it to the nth fucking degree. Maybe you pay some security guys like to be on the outside of the set, and you'd be like, hey guys, a important message. You'd be addressing the fucking nation at that point, right? Wouldn't you? It just
What's
comes off
happening?
as
What's happening?
it just comes off as like normal ass fucking Candace Owens show shit. And I'm wondering, like, man, is this psychopathic Oprah shit gonna fucking work on people? I'm very curious.
Of course.
But that's too sad. That's too much. It's too much. If they're under the belief that her fucking life is in danger from multiple nations, like they're special ops, special forces people, she's under threat by all of them apparently. And
I don't know about
you just
that.
do normal ass fucking Candace Owens show? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, if they could hit the president of the United States, I doubt this bitch with any security.
I mean, well, she'd be like enclosed in her house at the very least, right?
They got double bomb that shit.
Whatever. Let's
They
say
will
they're
drop
trying to be sneaky about
They
it.
will-
Whatever.
Sneaky. They don't want to be sneaky anymore. They want everybody to know, fuck around and find out.
Either way, you don't do a normal ass show, right? Like your show would be just way different. But this just looks like the Candace Owens show. That's what it looks like. The same old shit. But all right, I'm giving her like maybe 2 more minutes, and then 2 to 5 more minutes, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm done. Here we go.
And look, I'm not a military buff, but we found that they have 12 regiments that are known of. And you're telling me that they gutted leadership of 6? They put in 6 new commanders? Again, I just don't love the timing of all of this. Initially, the idea of French involvement in Charlie's assassination would not have been on my radar, okay? Having them at UVU would not have been on my radar at all until we learned about that weird hangar lease in Delaware when we were trying to track the Egyptian plane, SUBTT, our yellow plane, which departed on the morning of Charlie Kirk's assassination from Provo, went over to Wilmington, Delaware. We learned that regarding that hangar, Satis, which is a French company, injected $1.5 million ostensibly to paint planes, okay, in Wilmington, Delaware. A lease that is way too short for that, whatever. And they sign off on that the very week that I get sent this cease and desist, despite the fact that I hadn't been speaking about Brigitte. It was just weird, coincidental timing. And it could be a coincidence, but I'm going to now test your resolve at home regarding French coincidences, because for me, it's a little too much is what I'll say, okay? So we learned from a source that a foreign dignitary was escorted, right, from that hangar to 920 North King Street in Wilmington, Delaware, a place that we learned and confirmed had 3 federal agencies working together in one building. The internet can try to debunk that. They can't, okay? The feds are not going to debunk that because it's true. And then we learned that it is also a place which houses the attorneys that are filing my paperwork in the Brigitte lawsuit. I explained this. Delaware has a particular legal stipulation that even if you have your own lawyers, you have to find lawyers that will file the paperwork in your lawsuit, okay? The rules on that vary state by state. We then learned that Brigitte's lawyers in my lawsuit are directly across the street from that firm, okay? Confirmed. We're just warming up though, because the person that leaked that information about the dignitary being escorted, remember, that person never insinuated that the dignitary was French. But then after people on the internet pretended that he or she was lying about that information, they decided to conduct further investigation. They watched the episode and a light bulb goes off in their head because we're talking about Satis being French owned.
And they found out.
And the person decided to follow up and explain to us that France has effectively been running the streets in Wilmington, Delaware since like before the Revolutionary War, okay? Let's just start with a very basic history recap from this person's email. It all checks out. We don't need to get too deep in here regarding Wilmington, Delaware.
Delaware. Okay.
He or she writes a short version of the history, which is all verifiable, is that North French Street is actually the northern stretch of the original French Street. Wilmington laid out the original French Street in the early 1700s as Willing Street in Thomas Willing's grid. In the 1790s, a large cluster of French-speaking refugees, many of which were fleeing Haiti and the French revolutions, settled along it, and the nickname French Street took over. This street ran all the way from the Christina River up through town and became a main hub for travel and business. Wilmington is more French than people would initially assume, and it's easy to see this once you look at its history. The north tag of North French Street is a later addressing convention for blocks north of downtown. So that's just a backup there, okay? Now, again, we're going to have to go through this class very quickly. America, the whole idea of what we learn in class about the Revolutionary War, and we were fighting because, we didn't, the monarchy. Okay.
Oh my God.
England was not even under a monarchy at that time. Okay. And also I have learned in recent years that really the whole history of America is like warring factions of Freemasons. That's the reality. Warring factions of Freemasons competing for American territory. Now we're going to get into the substance of his email. He begins with something that is speculation and I'm not going to get too deep into, but essentially he says that across from 920 King, there is a red crane, and he's able to confirm that the French are absolutely involved in this somehow. I found direct U.S.-French alignment near 920 North King Street using structural aviation markers, financial lineage, corporate fronts, and historical French corridors. Now, he shows us that this is across from 920 North King, and it starts with a huge construction site. There's a huge construction site right across from there. And there's a long red crane that he points out. And I'm going to show you that crane right now because this person sent videos, because LOL to anybody who thought that we were being, that actually, I love it because it pissed him off. And now he's really on the ground here. You can see that crane up there. And that's just a reference point to what he's speaking about so that you can follow along here. That crane is situated on 1100 North King Street. Let's bring up the map here so you can see what's going on here, okay? What I found on 1100 1100 North King Street is big. The actual building is called the Brace Bridge Complex. It spans over 1 million square feet. It seems it was originally built for the Maryland Bank as their bank headquarters from 1995 until 2006 when Bank of America acquired it. But in 2018, remember that's going to be the year that Macron comes to power, Bank of America pulled out of a few of the buildings and they left it completely empty. Here is an article showing you that that is true and that Bank of America did in fact pull out of that building. It leaves the Wilmington office space empty. He or she goes on to write, so you might be wondering what happened after it was left vacant. Well, in 2024, legislation was passed which would provide financial support to the Longwood Foundation, a philanthropic nonprofit that was founded by Pierre S. DuPont to make it function as a quote-unquote educational center. There's just one problem with that. Pierre S. DuPont was a member of the French-American family DuPont, which was descended from Pierre Samuel DuPont de Nemours. Excuse my terrible French.
DuPont? Like the kind of famously known in America DuPont family or DuPont company.
She said that.
But she's saying it in a French way to make it sound more French. Go on, dude. I'm looking at the little things, bro. Pause. Major pause.
Well,
but you know what I'm saying?
The guy
DuPont.
She's saying the family, the member of the DuPont family. Listen, she's saying the member of the DuPont family that she's talking about kept the French name.
Okay, but it's known. Americans know the name DuPont. But she's saying it very French.
She's talking about
to imply something about the French. Like for sure she's doing that. Am I tripping on that one? She's saying it like a French way.
She's saying that was a misunderstanding. She is saying the person referenced is Pierre DuPont, the famous DuPont family member.
I know, but she's saying it French
Okay.
way when it's like regular Americans know the name DuPont. Right? There's some fucking movie about one of the guys that committed murder. One of the family members that committed a murder against some like wrestling.
Oh, I didn't
team.
know about that.
Yeah, it's fucking Mark Ruffalo. Was it Mark Ruffalo? Mark Ruffalo.
No, I know.
Channing Tatum. Steve Carell played the DuPont guy. It's kind
Oh,
of
you're talking about the chemical
The
company.
thing I know about the
yeah,
DuPont
that's
is
the
they
family
were.
name. He tried to own a wrestling team. A movie
Thing
called
I know
Foxcatcher.
about the thing I know about the DuPonts is Reefer Madness.
Okay, I know of Reefer Madness, and its
Yeah,
remake.
they got together with the big journalist or paper owner that they were basically the front that was wanting marijuana to be illegal across the whole United States.
I've heard of. Yeah, I know about like the movie Reefer Madness and the remake movie, but
Well, they made the movie too.
fair enough.
They backed or pub. What do you call it when you fund a movie? Produce.
Produce, yeah. Produce is like you get the money for it. Executive produce means like you kind of gave the money for it, like out of your own pocket
Okay.
type of shit. That's
So executive
That's how I
produce.
understand. That's how I understand it. But either way, okay, maybe she's just trying to tie it together, so she's saying it that way. But either way, it's like I'm trying to find something here that relates to, hey, isn't your life in danger right now, Candace? Right? I get it, Freemasons and all that shit, but that's someone on their comfortable show, right? Let's hear a little bit more, and then I'm probably done with this. Here we go. Don't
A
ask
French
how
aristocrat,
still watching to
DuPont
this
also
point.
has extreme ties to both the American and the French military. Obviously, we know that, as they are the original manufacturers of Kevlar, which has been historically regarded as the greatest way to make bulletproof armor. So now we have this prominent French family connected to this building. I think you're right to keep looking at French. People even shared concerns about what was actually happening at that building. There was a resident named Miriam Deed who said, quote, "I just feel like I don't understand why we're doing this without there being more accountability." So in 2024, and we can show you that article, he's telling the truth. We're fact checking that. People were like, what's going on in this like massive, what is the accountability here with this massive complex? Okay. He goes on to say, as you can see, the complex.
Did we hear who sent this to her? Was it tips for Candace, or was it like, is it her whistleblower? Like, who is it? Who sent this to her? Whatever. I got maybe go back
Covers
and check that out.
6 different buildings, all connected to both French Street. You can bring up that map, Chris, whenever, because I'm just going to keep speaking. All connected to both French Street and King Street. Okay. Now, people on X, he goes on, who were trying to pretend that this was some prank, said the FBI is actually at 500 Delaware Avenue, right? And 500 Delaware Avenue is a couple of blocks over. We can show you that on the map as well. Can you pull up 500 North Delaware? And that is also somehow owned by France. Why is the FBI in that building? Who knows? But also having a division inside of this building is true. He says that 500 North Delaware Avenue is a cover because guess what that building is? It's another bank center. This time, it's the Wilmington Savings Fund Society. In 1990, nearly all of lower Delaware branches of WSFS were sold to Wilmington Trust, which was founded by T. Coleman DuPont, the French-American then president of DuPont, to manage the growing fortune of the French-American DuPont family. And guess where the Wilmington Trust is actually located? It's located at 1100 North Market Street, the building that is right next to 1100 North King Street, and both are on Rodney Square. So again, we're going back to that Rodney Square. Everything is French that's happening on Rodney Square.
Okay. And I've reached my threshold of this. I have. Once again, it's like, Candace, aren't you like under direct threat from a foreign government? And this is what you're telling me about the fucking Masons in Delaware? Come on, son.
Bro, forget about Israel. We're talking about the French this month.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah. It is what it is.
French balls.
I'm sorry, audience. I can't help but leave it there. Once again, I'll provide the video so you can watch it on your own. You can watch the whole fucking thing. Obviously, you can find that on your own, obviously, right? You can just go on YouTube, type in Candace Owens, you'll find this video. But, yeah.
Unless they take it down.
If they take it down, maybe we're the only ones with all the archival footage of this shit. Yeah, just, I wasn't expecting more necessarily. Well, actually, I think I was. I think I was expecting a little bit more of an explanation rather than like, hey, the French did this. I sent my email or my call or whatever the fuck I did, not even through official bodies. I texted a friend that's in the that I know in the FBI or something like that, and nothing happened after I texted him. Like, yo, maybe go through. Like she said, to be fair, she didn't go through the official channels to complain about a crime, but she has confirmation from, once again, her anonymous source that this reached the desk of the president, and also was, so I guess within the realm of the FBI or whatever. She said a counterterrorism, or sorry, counterintelligence bureau or some sort of organization that's counterterrorism. She didn't say who, but she said she sent it somewhere over there. We don't know how. We don't know how she did that, or what channels or what means, because she avoided the, the official channels to use. Maybe she's like, this won't work. Let's go to like a direct source. Let's go to Bob, who works in the FBI. Let's send him our shit. All right, maybe that's the case.
You could at least showed us the Donald Trump left her on red.
Well, she could have at least shown us
She
her
didn't even do that.
complaint in a way. Like she could have shown us what.
Think about it. She didn't even do that.
Well, you can leave channel. You can leave out the sources or the who you sent it. You can redact names. You can blur names out. You have the capability. You have the technology to do so. Why not do that and just show us what you said to them? You could do that at the very least, but like going over like the French history inside of Delaware is not helping me, dude. What are we doing with that? I'm sure it's like important to look over, but like, in the more conspiracy realms and all that shit. But like, why not? Once again, your life's in danger apparently. And I'm sure that's what fans or people that are curious want to hear about. But instead, we got the Candace Owens show, an actual show.
Next week, next week she's gonna tell us how the English are bad.
And you know what? Here's what's gonna happen tomorrow when I hop on Discord. I'm like, all right, Candace is live. Let me hit play on this. In fact, I'll rewind it because it gives me more room of time to like do things. I'm just like letting it play, and Ed will cry about it today. How about that? Either way, there.
Wait. 50 Cent's dropping a documentary tomorrow on Puff Daddy. That's gonna be hot.
How about I play that while I'm doing other shit? How about that?
Hey man, if it's available, I want to see it. I think it's gonna be crazy.
How about I distract your melodrama, fucking whining ass bullshit? Why are you playing this guy? Shut up. Fuck my life, bro. Anyways, there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Maybe you're a Candace fan and you know more than I know. Maybe you've been like, I have not been as kept up with I've heard about the assassination thing. I'm like, oh, that sounds crazy. Let me look into it. But other stuff I just have not kept up with. Maybe you know about the airplanes and this or that. I have not kept up with it. So please tell me in the comment section if you know better than what we just said right here tonight. Or if you're like, you know what, Candace is full of shit, let that be known as well. Please, go ahead. I definitely don't mind that one. But either way, say your thoughts. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in that same description box. Also, please check out the Discord link, which is also in the description box. And we're in that Discord right now, and all opinions are welcome. All of them. I promise. Let it be known, just nothing pornographic or grotesque. And obviously, everything I showed you in this video will be linked in the description box for you to look at on your own, and to whatever, rabbit hole through, to look into, to think deeper about, to laugh at, whatever you want to do. Go ahead. look at it on your own. If you don't want to hear us pausing or our opinions or whatever the fuck, please go ahead and do that. And yeah, with all that said, give this video a thumbs down.